This is a mock interview conducted by ForumIAS Academy at New Delhi. The interview panel includes eminent professors, retired bureaucrats, and other luminaries. The objective of the program is to acquaint the candidate with the format and expectations of the personality test conducted by UPSC.
So may I come in?
Please.
Good morning, sir.
Please sit down.
Thank you.
Prabha, your name is Chandar Prabha. Chandar, generally they call you.
So, family calls me Prabha, otherwise it's Chandar Prabha.
So I will call you Prabha. Now what has happened, I was going through, you have done B.Tech from Computer Science, Symbiosis Institute, Pune, and then Master in Public Policy, Washington, University of Washington, D.C. And this is your 6th attempt.
Yes, sir.
Now introduce yourself.
My name is Chandar Prabha Sharma. I was born in Mumbai. Currently, I'm in Raigad. I hold a Master's in Public Policy from Georgetown University in Washington, D.C. And I serve as the CEO and co-founder of a non-profit organization that is working for sustainable development in Ayodhya.
You have done Masters of Public Policy from University of Washington.
Yes,
Okay.
Georgetown.
Now what has happened, Washington is very near to New York, you know these things. Now you tell me, what is the Statue of Liberty, who designed it, and it is made of which materials? Statue of Liberty, you know?
Yes, sir.
New York. Now you tell me, who designed it?
I'm unable to recall the designer, so sorry for that. I'll go and read it for sure.
Again, it is a gift of France to United States. It was done by the French sculptor Bartholdi.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Bartholdi, it is made of copper. It has got 2,300 lightning striking it also, but it has sustained. And the metal framework done by Eiffel. I don't know, maybe the Eiffel Tower wala. There's a Gustave Eiffel. This is all French. All the French people, after the United States here, they gifted it. Tell me, which river is passing by?
Washington, D.C. or?
No, Statue of Liberty. And it's in which island?
So the Hudson River is
Yes.
there, and the island was called, forgetting the name of the island, sorry.
This island is Island Liberty, Island of Liberty, and these things. And this is there. Now, second questions. It was established in 1924.
Okay. Thank you.
Tell me, what is the term of a president of United States of America? Kitna tenure? What is the tenure?
So 4 years.
Can a person become 4 or 5 times the president of United States?
No, sir. They have a limit and it is capped at 2 terms only, after which they cannot run for election again.
What about Indian context?
We have a 5-year term and there is no limit on the number of times a prime minister can run again.
Good. Now tell me, after doing your B.Tech in computer science, why you wanted to come into the civil services?
Sir, when I was learning as an engineer, I had some opportunities to apply my skills for social impact. I worked for the conservation of Saryu River, and I also saw policymakers and the change they can bring in people's lives. So I decided to deepen my knowledge in public policy, pursue a master's in public policy, and from there the natural extension where I thought the greatest service I can do with my skills and experience would be as a civil servant.
It was for the glamour or pro-people attitude?
So pro-people attitude, especially because I learned how much I enjoy it with the projects I had done at the grassroots. So that became a personal joy for me as well, to work with people.
I will hand over to the next member. I'll just tell me, what is your strength and what are your weakness?
So the first strength would be that I'm a determined person, and I have commitment to whatever purpose and cause that needs a public servant. The second one I believe is that I adapt to situations and different conditions. I'm also a good learner. I enjoy learning. So these are the three.
Shortcomings?
Presently, I have identified certain skill gaps, especially when it comes to the new and upcoming technologies. That's something I would like to fill the gap in, bridge the gap in. That is one. The second one, I know that I'm not at my fittest self. And because I believe in wellness and fitness, I think I would do better to my own integrity if I become my fittest self.
It's better to be candid about it, because nobody is above shortcomings. Any individual you take, they have shortcomings of some form or other. It's a question of degree. So if you know your shortcomings, there is a scope for improvement. If you conceal it, there is no scope. Anyway, take over.
Prabha. Okay. So, Prabha, you are a student of public administration. Okay. What is your NGO doing in Ayodhya?
Yes, sir. So we are working towards sustainable development. Some of our projects include water conservation, waste management, and largely we are working towards improvement of civic behavior so that citizens can also play a role in environment conservation.
Civic behavior. So currently in Ayodhya, a lot of people are visiting the temple. So then what role is your NGO playing towards that? Towards, regulating the flow of people and ensuring waste management is being done properly.
Yes, sir. So one role that we have played, even I believe we started in 2018 with this campaign called the Swachh Saryu Abhiyan. In that, we would have a weekly cleanup. So physically, trash would be removed from the banks of the Saryu River. But at the same time, what we did is we did train the trainer models where volunteers could also launch their own campaigns. So what that did is start a movement across different societies and colonies in Ayodhya. So now when the tourists go, they also experience a difference in the way people dispose waste or even reduce waste at the start itself, because there's more awareness on how they can reduce waste in their day-to-day lifestyle. That is one. And secondly, I believe that we have also been talking about the LIFE campaign that India is leading. So people have more awareness on just how to live more sustainable lifestyles. So in the general cleanliness or the environmental impact of the Ram Mandir, my hope is that it will be a contribution.
Okay, good. And you are a sustainability consultant. Okay. So what was your role there in the Department of Education?
So my role was to understand the energy, water and waste impact of 1800 plus school buildings and to come up with solutions on how to make these buildings and facilities more efficient. So one of the things I did is to incorporate data and digital analytics of these buildings to help decision makers take more informed and data-based decisions to build solutions. The second one I also worked on, because I enjoy teaching and enjoy working with children, was to work in the curriculum itself to incorporate sustainability principles in the curriculum and the children's learnings.
Okay. Tell me something that you have worked on sustainability in Bangalore. Currently, we are witnessing that water shortage is there, right? But it is a city which has the highest number of tech startups in India. Okay, data is there in the air in Bangalore, it is said. So why is it faltering when it comes to water availability over there? What is happening there?
So the most important cause for the water crisis in Bangalore has to do with the way they lacked in their wetland conservation. They started with around 300 wetlands and now it's down to 80. That is the most significant one, which is why now they also have to draw water all the way from the 𝐿𝐴𝐵𝐸 river instead of being able to tap their own resources with resilience. That's the most important cause there. Secondly, of course, there's as you mentioned, the industry rise that is happening with startups as well. The demand-supply disbalance. The demand is significant and the water resources are not being harnessed or conserved. These are the two main reasons for the crisis there.
You have studied computer science also, right? What is meant by generative AI?
Generative artificial intelligence works with a large volume of data sets across the internet to study the different patterns that are available and then be able to generate new content, whether it's in text, music, or now even in video format, to create content in a generative manner, which looks like it was made by a human. So that would be.
Okay, that's good. Prabha, you come from Mumbai. In the Maharashtra government has a proposal of developing a third Mumbai, like on the lines of Navi Mumbai. Okay. How sustainable do you think the proposal is, given the fragile ecosystem of that region? What do you think? Yes. Or is it necessary for ensuring, having more opportunities in that region for people, for industries as well?
So it's a complex issue with competing interests that have to be balanced. Mumbai, as we know, is very congested now. So satellite cities have to be created to support the citizens and their growth. So Navi Mumbai was created, now Naina city is being planned. The ecosystem at the same time is fragile. We are blessed with mangroves. The Mithi river is not in its best health. It is a balance that has to be struck with the right amount of planning and keeping the environment at the center. I believe sustainable development can be done to meet both the competing interests, and we can move forward in a sustainable manner. That's the hope. At the same time, the right technology investments are needed, and planning has to be done in an inclusive and sustainable manner.
Okay. You have studied public administration. Tell me something. There is a sort of celebrity culture among young bureaucrats, right, on social media. Do you think that that is a right trend? Is it a positive influence for the people who are preparing for civil services, or a negative influence?
So the way celebrity culture is happening, its influence on the people who are preparing is putting a negative incentive. The first thing that we are flooded with when we try to even look at open resources for knowledge is often these reels. It's a distraction, and it tends to put in perverse incentives on why one should join the civil service. So that is a significant concern there, which is negatively influencing candidates who should ideally be looking for the nation's vision and public service mainly.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
For celebrity culture, we have discussed the impact on the aspirants. And otherwise, where do you stand on it? Should it be there? Should the civil servants be posting their reels, etc.?
Ma'am, I believe the content matters because in today's world, integrating technology and social media for public service, we have seen it work in great wonders. The Ministry of External Affairs, for example, or Mumbai Police has been doing very good work with social media. As long as the organization and the service it is supposed to provide is at the forefront, and there's no cult behavior around one personality, I believe that posting should be done. The way to ensure that social media is used well should be that a defined areas of what is acceptable on social media should be made clear, and certain accountability measures should be in place. The yardstick being that as long as the post is about services and helps improve citizens' experience, it should be allowed.
Okay. Now, you So in your answers, you've mentioned several rivers and associated pollution. We have Saryu, Ayodhya, Meethi River, Bangalore struggling, Delhi. There was a photo yesterday or day before of Yamuna, which has froth all over. So across the country, we are blessed with rivers, but all of them are polluted. So what is the solution to this?
The solution will have to have multi-dimensional components. Our rivers, even in the north side or the south side, they have unique characteristics. So to start with, I believe the Namami Gange model, the strength there was that they brought different departments together, which before were working in silos. So I think that is a good model where for each river, if we can have task forces, which help different departments come together and make the river conservation a priority. That would be first in terms of the administrative structures. The second, I believe, would be citizen participation. Encouraging citizens to take pride in the river that they live around. And not just pride, but also allow eco-friendly livelihood development. There's a model in Ayodhya called the Saryu Sarthi model, where the locals who live along the river, earlier they used to work on wildlife poaching, illegal liquor. Now they are being rehabilitated because they have great knowledge about the river. So now they've become ecotourism guides. So if citizen awareness can also generate eco-friendly livelihoods, that could help conserve the rivers. These are the two.
Okay. Now, one more question, which is you've mentioned Waste Management Award Nagar Nigam Ayodhya 2018. So as per the waste management rules, and again, this is also a problem with our rivers as well, the waste management. Should it be centralized or decentralized?
From my understanding, decentralized models are working well, as long as the technology that is needed is not capital intensive. So decentralized solutions like composting in the backyard itself, or small colonies setting up their own smaller biogas digesters, that's one. But at the city level, as large as Mumbai or Delhi for that matter, if we say that cities' plant could be centralized, so the biogas digesters needed for that would be larger, but even then, it won't be centralized at the state level, but at the city level, it would have to work for larger number of blocks. So I believe it will be a mix, but what has to be ensured is that it is localized and customized solutions.
Okay. Can you tell me what is ethical hacking?
It's also known as white hat hacking, where professionals who have experience in breaking through certain systems are deployed so that they can anticipate what attack can come in the future. So they are trying to work one step ahead of the hackers themselves to simulate a hacking attack so that they can suggest to organizations what protections can be put in place.
Okay. So we're just going to vote. You know, India's going to elections. So can EVMs be hacked?
Ma'am, from the testing that has been made publicly available by the Election Commission of India, EVMs cannot be hacked, and they have shown this through 2-3 facts. The first one being that they are not linked to any network. They are independent machines on their own. Secondly, the circuits are also, they're not wired mainly. That is the most important feature of the EVM, which makes it safe from hacking. So I believe that is.
And can cryptocurrencies be hacked? They're connected to a network.
I'm not sure about the technical mechanism on whether they can be hacked or not. I believe there could be risks involved.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, Chandar Prabha.
Good morning, sir.
So how much time have you spent in Mumbai? You were born in Mumbai.
Yes, sir. Roughly 30 years. In between, I went to Pune for 4 years and 2 years in the US.
So you have spent time in Washington DC also. So how was your lived experience different from Mumbai versus Washington DC? How will you contrast the two experiences?
The Mumbai spirit of incredible initiative between the people is very palpable. When we take the local trains, you can tell that the common man is trying to truly survive and truly strive for their hard work and their professional careers. Washington DC, it is the same. However, it's a little more open, less congested. And people tend to say, or if you make eye contact, they will smile and they will wish you good morning. Mumbaikars have their own way of helping as well. This is the one cultural difference that I saw. Washington DC also happens to have a lot of open spaces, green spaces. There are multiple trekking areas that are available. Mumbai has the seafront, which is a great environmental experience in itself. At the same time, there's a lack of open green spaces. That's another difference. Mumbai, of course, being the financial capital, incredibly robust when it comes to its commercial areas.
Okay. So one point you talked about was the struggle, for example, in the local train. There must be public transport system in Washington also. Probably they wouldn't be as congested as, as crowded as Mumbai local. So do you think urban governance in some way has been unable to address the challenges that are there, that our cities are facing? Maybe our planning failed somewhere, or we didn't factor in the, the population pressure and expand our infrastructure accordingly. So do you think that is a factor between Washington DC and Mumbai?
So with regards to urban planning, Mumbai, according to reports, does have a slightly narrower term of planning. They plan roughly for 20-30 years, whereas Washington DC, according to reports, plans for 80 to 90 years. That is the one difference in urban planning. I believe the timeline can be improved. There's also the concept of life cycle, wherein in the US, because they had a head start when it came to green buildings, they have put into consideration the life cycle of infrastructure. But in India also, we have taken great stride in terms of green buildings. TERI has a metric. So life cycle is being considered, but our older infrastructure is going obsolete. So there is a concern.
Okay, I'll interject. Do you think that if we change our governance structure in cities, it can help maybe change our attitude? For example, in India, mayors are not directly elected, and they are not responsible to the electorate, also to the people who elect them, and they have very limited powers. Do you think that making mayors more responsible and giving them more powers can actually make the difference? Because right now the planning authorities are not responsible to the people, and whether maybe we can say that there is a gap between what they plan and the people's convenience. So do you think that can be a solution? Maybe it will improve our planning systems?
So at large in general, any office holder, if they are more accountable to the people, it does help with the governance structure. At the same time, our 72nd and 73rd amendments, they allowed the state government to design the governance structure based on the local requirements. So that freedom was given on whether the mayor should be elected directly by the people or indirectly. I believe that different states decided based on the local needs. I don't think that if we import solutions from the West, they would be great for us. But at the same time, if citizens express that it would be better to have, or if the state wisdom also agrees that it would be better to have directly elected, they should go forward with the reform.
Okay, fair enough. So you follow US elections? Are you following? Okay. Most probably the candidates have been decided for both the parties. One concern is regarding their age, especially the current president. He's already 80 plus. So do you think that, there should be a retirement age in politics as well? Because we see in every profession there is a retirement age. In government services, you retire at 58 or 60. Even judges, they retire at 60 to 65 plus. So do you think there should be an age limit on politics also, or holding public offices?
I believe there are advantages and disadvantages to this. The advantage being that with age, they bring a lot of experience. So we have great statespersons who, as senior they have become, they are able to bring more experience as in their political aptitude as well. At the same time, the disadvantage is that parties then hesitate to bring on fresher talent because they have to promote the older candidates as well. So the only challenge is if a cap is mandated, there may be a challenge to public choice if they truly wish to vote for a candidate who does bring in the political experience required. So I believe that putting an age cap may not be, as a mandate may not be advantageous, but if what can be suggested is that political parties through internal party democratic reforms, if they can promote fresher talent and allow them more opportunities also, it should help balance the issue.
Okay, thank you, Chandra.
Thank you.
That's all from my side.
To sum up the entire things, I'll tell you, some of your answers are very good,
Thank you, sir.
especially the celebrity culture is limit on the politicians. You have rightly answered. Actually, I'm impressed, I tell you. You didn't tell, yes, there should be a cap on that. No. Rightly you have told, there's some advantages and disadvantages. Anything going drastically, things have got this side and that side. So your answers are very good. Whatever you know, you have rightly put it up.